Hey everybody! This week's book talk is going to be about Death at Morning House by Maureen Johnson. Remember we talked about the reading roller coaster? Some books are more of a tough climb up to the top, and those are great because we feel fulfilled, we learn new things, and we have a sense of accomplishment at the top of the roller coaster. Then we have books that are more like the fast ride down. There's no stopping this train. We are reading for hours, we are giggling and kicking our feet. For me, Death at Morning House is one of the fast ride down books. I think you guys are going to love the main character, Marlo Wexler. She is funny and witty, and I found her to be deeply relatable, so I'm hoping that's true for you as well. I'm going to read a little passage and let Marlo speak for herself here. I picked her up. I drive a smart car, which is the smallest car in the entire world. It is red, so it looks like I'm cruising along in a cartoon apple. I inherited it from my grandparents, who bought it for driving around Key West where they live, before they decided that it was ruining their image. It was given to me because it was considered a sensible way for me to get back and forth from school and could never be used for anything even remotely dangerous. What was I going to say on my crazed smart car spree? Get in, nobody, because we're going to do a sweet 21 miles an hour and definitely not on the highway. But it was a car, and therefore I loved it. It tried its best, even though it was very small. Akilah was wearing white shorts and a red top that I think was new. She twisted her box braids into an elegant bun, partially wrapped in a red scarf. Akilah always had good makeup, but I could see that she had made a special effort, using a combination of white liner toward her nose and a darker one winged back off her eye with layers of yellow and orange on her lids. The overall effect was that of two sunrises blossoming on her face. "You look nice," she said. "I like your shirt." I tried not to crumple up in my seat. Was that a good thing, or did I normally look terrible and she was just happy I tried? It is often embarrassing to be me, but that night, walking into the Cheesecake Factory with Akilah Jones on my side, I felt like I was stepping into human society for the first time in a full and complete way. I was the best version of myself, bursting with a confidence I had never had previously. I wasn't expecting everyone to stand up and applaud, but if they had, I would have accepted it. It would have made sense. So this starts with Marlo's date with Akilah. And this date does not end up going very well. Marlo may or may not end up burning down a house. And after that, she can't look Akilah in the face. So instead of facing a summer of pyro jokes and pitying stares, she decides to get out of town and becomes a summer tour guide at a historic mansion on one of the Thousand Islands, which is between New York and Canada. This historic mansion was inhabited by the Ralston family in the 1920s and 30s. Philip Ralston adopted 6 children while he was serving as an army doctor in World War I. He brings them all back to America with him and raises them in this really tense, competitive atmosphere that also has a strange obsession with food and nutrition. The Ralstons end up suffering tragedy after tragedy when the youngest child drowns, and the oldest sister, that same day, ends up dancing off the roof, possibly out of grief for her younger brother. Marlo has to unravel the mystery of the Ralston family in the 1940s, and she's also working on a current mystery. So I'm going to read you another short excerpt about that, so you guys can get a good idea for what's in store. Okay. And that is the story that the Ralston curse is based on. In reality, it was a strange family that made its own bad luck, though some members of the family tried to be beneficial to society. Lecture finished. Dr. Henson stood to go, focusing on her phone and not looking at us again. "Going to dinner in town," she said as she left the room. "Make sure to clean this up." Suddenly, Ricky's "I like spooky shit" socks made a lot of sense. She had been following the story as it was told, hooked on every word, though she clearly knew all the details. She was into it. There was no missing it. Now that it was over, she too got up, leaving her dirty plate. "Are you going to help clean up?" Liani asked. "No," Ricky said. "I'm an independent contractor." "I can think of a few other things you are." "Happy for you, Liani. Nurture that imagination." As Ricky walked toward the door, she stopped as she was about to pull her headphones over her ears. "Oh, by the way," she said to me, Did anyone mention you're taking over for a dead guy? Death at Morning House is like a breath of fresh air with a mix of historical fiction and current-day mystery thriller. I think this is going to be right up your alley. There are elements of a sapphic YA romance, and then there are some complex historical issues brought up, like the eugenics movement, and they all somehow fit seamlessly together. A couple content warnings to keep in mind. There is reference to death by suicide, fire and arson, underage alcohol and nicotine use, and there is some swearing as well. There are more mature themes, and the complex historical content that I mentioned might make the text a little less approachable for students in middle school, so this book is more for you guys, the 9th through 12th graders. I would recommend you pick this one up if you liked The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, or A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson.